Good day, everyone. MLC 2006 Regulations 2.3 deals with hours of work and hours of rest for seafarers. Establishing either maximum hours of work or minimum hours of rest is essential in order to protect seafarers against fatigue due to excessive demands on their time and to ensure the interest of their duties.
Purpose: to ensure that the seafarers have regulated hours of work or hours of rest. First, hour of work and rest are regulated to avoid fatigue and to ensure that the ship is operated safely. Second, normal working hours are based on an 8 hours day with 1 day of rest per week. Third, the flag state and decide whether to base the limits of maximum hours of work or minimum hours of rest. Fourth, in the event of an emergency where the safety of the ship and crew are in danger, or to give assistance to other ships or person in distress at sea, the captain can suspend the work schedule until the problem is resolved.
Musters and all other drills must take place with minimal distance to periods of rest. All ships to display a table with shipboard working arrangements. In the working language of the ship and in English, it must include schedule of service at sea and service in port and maximum hours of work or minimum hours of rest required by law or by applicable CPAs. Records must be kept of hours of work and hours of rest so that they can be checked to ensure compliance with the regulation. You must receive an endorsed copy of your hours or of work or rest.
MLC 2006 Regulation 2.3 Hours of Work and Hours of Rest. Purpose: to ensure that seafarers have regulated hours of work or hours of rest. First, each member shall ensure that the hours of work or hours of rest for seafarers are regulated. Second, each member shall establish maximum hours of work or minimum hours of rest over given periods that are consistent with the provision in the code.
Standard A2.3 Hours of Work and Hours of Rest. 1. For the purpose of this standard, the term hours of work means time during which seafarers are required to work on account of the ship. Hours of rest means time outside hours for work, terms that include short breaks. Each member shall, within the limits.
So the maritime industry has regulated the hours of works and hours of rest for the seafarers when employed on board ships. So MLC 2006 Regulation 2.3, the mandatory hours of works and hours of rest and for the seafarers requirements to ensure the seafarers has regulated hours of works or hours of rest. So MLC 2006 Regulation 2.3 deals with the hours of works and hours of rest for the seafarers, establishing either maximum hours to works for or minimum hours of rest is essential in order to protect seafarers against fatigue due to the excessive demands on their times and to ensure in their interest or safety. So that hours of works and overtime, even if voluntary, in particular, does not exceed levels that are compatible with the safe and the efficient discharge of duties on board. So the MLC 2006 provision with respects to minimum hours of rest are, for the most part, reflected in the amendments of the IMO's TCW convention that were adopted in June 2010. This means that it is likely the national provisions will already exist for seafarers covered by the STCW conventions. That's all. Thank you. For seafarers covered by the STCW conventions. That's all. Thank you. For seafarers